Hey Bellas! Welcome to my new episode. Hola a todos! Kamusta po kayo? Bibigyan ko lang kayo ng background kung ano yung napag-usapan namin ni Miss Dani Walker. Tinanong ko siya ng mga bagay na nagpapatunay sa isang kandidata bilang isang malakas para sa darating na Miss Universe. Kasi di ba marami tayong issue ngayon tungkol sa ito mas malakas ang kandidata namin, malakas si ganito, si ganyan, 'di ba? Nag-aaway-away kasi po ang mga fans. So, tinanong ko si Miss Dani Walker bilang she is an expert in terms of pageant at alam niya ang mga nangyayari ngayon dito sa pageantry, especially sa darating na Miss Universe, 'di ba? May mga sapawan, may mga paandaran, may mga nagbibigay ng kanya-kanyang prediksyon o ito ang pinakamalakas, ito ang pinakamahina. Kaya ang sinasabi ko lang, sino ba dapat ang nagbibigay ng prediction na ito? At paano dapat nagbibigay ng prediction ang mga pageant vlogger? Diba? Ang mga sinasabing pageant expert o enthusiast na nagsasabing ito si ganyan malakas. O di ba nang dahil lang sa mga napapakita nilang pakulo, paandar, di ba, ng mga organization. So ang tanong ngayon, Bellas, sino ba talaga ang malakas? At ano ba talaga ang definisyon ng pagiging malakas sa isang kompetisyon, lalong-lalo na ang Miss Universe? This is a really interesting issue. Mahirap na iniluluklok natin ang isang kandidata na hindi pa naman tapos ang competition, pero we tend to overhype the person. We tend to, make a candidate overrated at hindi napapansin yung talagang tunay na malakas. O kasi baka ang mangyari nito, yung mga overrated, mawala sa totoong kompetisyon at ang umangat yung mga underrated. Okay, so in this episode, gusto kong makinig nyo mula kay Dani Walker kung ano sa kanya, kung paano niya ina-assess ang isang kandidata bilang isang malakas na candidate at paano niya masasabing strong ng isang kandidata na hindi niya pa nakikita sa isang venue na sama-sama ang lahat ng kandidata para ma-determine natin, ito talaga ang stand out sa lahat. Ito talaga ang mukhang Miss Universe. So, guys, panoorin natin tong interview na to kasi alam ko hindi nakat ito dun sa mga naunang na-release kong live video para sa inyo. So, let's enjoy this interview. Do you really base a strong candidates, especially for Miss Universe, based on their pictures? How do you assess them? Like, we don't see them yet, right? We don't see them personally. We don't see them in one venue or location that they are all in together. And then suddenly here we are predicting. There's so many predictions. No, she's number 1 on my list. She's number 2 on my list. She's my number 3. So as a pageant blogger who has been respected, with your thoughts, how would you assess girl without seeing them yet, and the competition is not happening yet? So how do you assess them?
How do we make those predictions? Right? How does that come to be? So for me, I think that it's a multi-step process, and I think that I personally don't like to ever say a girl is like number 1. There'll be a girl that I particularly like that stands out, that I think has the qualities of a great title holder that suit her specific organization. But at the same time, I never really like saying like she's my number 1, number 2, number 3, because anything can happen, during on stage. And so for me, in my preliminary, I would say, research phase before I do my episodes, I pay attention to, because I follow different pageant pages as well and fan pages. So I primarily pay attention to, okay, who's everybody talking about, first of all? I think that listening to a lot of pageant fans is very helpful, because there are fans that are so dedicated. Like, I don't have the time in my day to follow every single girl and her every move. But what's so great is that there's so many fans for every single country. So when you really hear the fans and they're speaking out and they're like, look at my contestant, look at our country, like, look at how hard they're working, and you hear that over and over and over, all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I need to check this girl out. I need to look deeper. I need to see what she's doing. And so that's definitely something that I pay attention to, because I don't always feature just the historically strong countries in my episodes, sometimes I find contestants that really surprise me. And a lot of that initial discovery comes from fans, and that's how important their voices are. And then after that, I'd like to take into consideration the history of their organization. What has that organization been doing to prepare their other title holders within the last 5 years? And usually that's pretty evident leading up to an international competition. Like, you can see that an organization is setting up photo shoots for their title holder. You can see that they're getting her media interviews. You can see that she's booking all sorts of jobs outside of pageantry. And it's because of that organization in large part. So I like to pay attention to what they're doing. And then if I can, after that, those are kind of like my signs to point me in the direction towards certain contestants, because it would take forever to research the 80, 90 something countries that compete at Miss Universe. And after that, I really start looking into the contestant herself, and I focus on her social media. What did she post? I look for tagged posts of her, and then also I try to find her performances at her national competition, see what she's been doing there, and kind of make assessments and say, this is where a contestant might be at a national level, but I do know, in this many months, how much time does she have to actually improve? And so you got to kind of compare, like, where are Miss Universes? Like, what's the standard of a Miss Universe winner? And you look at a girl's walk, or you listen to her interview, and you're like, well, she's got 3 months. Is 3 months enough time for her to catch up to that standard? And I'd say because I'm a pageant coach, I see contestants progress, and I see when certain things are difficult to correct. And then I also see other stuff that I'm like, oh, that would be no problem. As long as she's got a team, that's a simple fix. So I take those things into consideration from a coaching point of view of, like, how much better can this contestant get? And that's basically where my prediction's coming from, because every single contestant that goes to Miss Universe, I know this from going to Miss USA, is that you go on this big journey of growth. And so I take into consideration that they're going to grow, and hopefully they'll grow a lot with the support of their own organization or their team. It just depends on what country they're coming from and what kind of resources that they have.
Okay. So anyway, so what can you say about those things like she's overrated and the girls who are strong are the underrated? So how do you comment on this?
For me, I just think that everybody's going to have their own opinion. And it's not only just me having mine and fans having theirs. The most really important at the end of the day are going to be the judge's opinion. So you, I, anyone else, we can speculate as much as we want. I can try to predict as much as I want. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, does the judge like that contestant? Are they loving what they're doing on stage, or are they believing what that contestant is saying on stage? And I think that whenever I see comments like that on my own channel, because I do see stuff like that where people are like, oh, she's terrible, she's overrated, things like that. And I don't really give much weight to them just because I understand everybody has their opinions, but at the end of the day, even my opinion won't matter, because it depends on who's going to be judging the pageant. And I try to keep into consideration, especially for Miss Universe, that we typically are going to have American judges. And I think that affects the outcome of the pageant. And we're typically having judges that are represented by IMG, that owns the Miss Universe organization. So who's that? Those are going to be celebrity judges. Those are going to be people who may not be involved in the pageant industry at all, and they may not know all the things that you or I know about these contestants. So sometimes I have to think, like, but if I was in that judge's shoes and I had no idea about all this extra information about a contestant, then all that extra information won't even matter. All the, oh, she's overrated, the judges don't care. They're just going to look at a contestant for who she is and just say, I like her or I don't.
So ayan guys, na kita nyo na ang aming pinag-usapan, at hopefully this complete my full interview with Miss Dani Walker. Pasensya na kayo at naputol tong part. Hindi ko pwedeng hindi i-release tong video na to kasi sayang yung points ng mga sinasabi ni Miss Dani Walker here. At kahit nagkaroon ako ng technical problems, at least nalaman ninyo kung ano ang gusto niyang ipahayag. So Bellas, let's try to become, according to Miss Dani Walker, an expert. Let's hope that the journey of our queen, Miss Rabiya Mateo, will be successful getting the crown. Okay? So, ilaban natin to at sana huwag tayong masyadong mapadala doon sa mga nag-o-overhype lang. Okay? So, isipin natin kung sino talaga ang malakas. Okay? At according nga kay Pia Wurtzbach, wala pa siyang nakikitang malakas dahil dun sa kwentuhan, she's really saying Rabiya as the one to beat in this competition. Kaya sana malaman natin na ang totoong laban ay yung mismong first day ng competition doon sa Miss Universe. So, kailangan first day pa lang, everything is on point. Ang mahirap na yung mga trial and error dito because this is Miss Universe, okay? Any single mistake, talagang magre-reflect ito ng bonggang-bongga sa kandidata. But I think Rabiya is truly careful in anything. She will focus on the things that she can still develop and transform as a candidate for Miss Universe. Kaya tandaan natin, marami man po may mga doubts at nagsasabi dito sa ating bansa na hindi makakaya ito ng ating kandidata. I beg to disagree. Dahil I think yung mga naiisip nyo malakas, pagdating ng competition, hindi pala malakas. This is it, guys. So if you like this video, please do subscribe on my channel and hit the notification bell so you can follow me in all of my new updates. See you guys. Bye.